Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is my very first trailer analysis and I'm really excited to start off with Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy has always been one of my most favorite games and I'm really excited to see Final Fantasy 16. It was a very good trailer. The first thing that I noted when I saw the trailer was that there was a lot of blood and the combat seemed like a mixture of Final Fantasy 15 and Devil May Cry. So let's see what the trailer has to offer, and I'll try to give my own analysis of what I can think, like what's the story going to be and what's happening. So let's give it a shot. So we see our protagonist or this character is sitting by the campfire. Now he has a mark on his cheek, and we can see that this probably it has some sort of importance in the sense that now because of this mark, he is part of something or some a group of people who need to carry out certain tasks.
You all know the target. Shiva's dominant.
So we can see here that our main man is sitting to the right. There's also a guy sitting to the left, which in a few moments later is going to be crushed. And these aren't really friends per se. I think that they are part of a group who are tasked with taking care of Shiva's dominance. That's the target that they have. And we don't really know whether it's to take that dominant out or just to, acquire her rather, because they say that's a girl.
And only the dominant.
How do we even know the girl will be a monk?
Now this fight here, I have a hunch. Maybe it's the battle of the twin realms, or perhaps it's something that has happened before or is taking place in the current game, but it's about two nations fighting each other.
Our kind do not question orders.
Now, we saw here that he says that our kind do not question orders, and that basically means that whoever these people are, whether they're mercenaries or whoever they are, they don't question orders. They just, follow the mission, make sure that the mission is done, and move on. Here we see that the main guy is like touching his mark, so as to probably just think as to why he's doing this or having second thoughts on this. And like I mentioned, the two nations, right? So the one on the chocobos have swords. The guy here in the middle is wearing armor, whereas those on the sides are not. And they carry swords, and the other people that they're attacking, they carry axes. So that's two people fighting, two kingdoms fighting, or whatever. Maybe this is the battle of the twin realms, or maybe it's something else. Just a hunch.
Sergeant, they've summoned their icon.
So they say they've summoned their icon. We don't know who, but this here is our first look at Titan. And the sergeant is quite surprised to say
That thing's a bloody mountain.
that the thing is a bloody mountain, which probably means that these icons come in various shapes and sizes. And here's the very lovely Shiva. And the first thing I notice here is that for the first time, at least for me, she's wearing good clothes. She looks stunning. And she's forming a blazaga of sorts in her hand. This is a very good look at her. She's wearing a cape and she looks just amazing. So she's fighting Titan, so which basically means that the Shiva dominant and the Titan dominant don't get along. And then there's Casualty, the same guy that we saw sitting to the left at the camp. Squish.
Our foe will not relinquish their mother crystal easily.
So our foe will not relinquish their mother crystal easily, which probably means that, again, crystals have always been a very important story element when it comes to Final Fantasy. And here again, we see that the crystals are being mentioned, mother crystals for that matter. And it seems to me like different kingdoms or nations have them, and or is it? Or it might be that they are scarce. You need to find one, as it's going to be mentioned a little later on in this trailer that you need to have one of those if you need to stop the blight. So maybe this is the younger version of the protagonist that we see, or maybe it's an entirely different character. I don't know. But for now, I'm just going to consider it as the younger version of the protagonist.
This will be a bitter.
So this here is Joshua, the Phoenix dominant, and he has this ability to summon Phoenix, and also has the powers that Phoenix has.
Fight.
I don't know who this girl is, but this lady here who's coming up with her fellow ladies, seems to be the person who's taking care of Joshua.
You should not be out.
And the other two are basically giving her, they're bowing to her, which basically means that this is a character of importance. Maybe she's from, Joshua is the Archduke's son. So maybe this is her mother or sister, maybe whoever it is, but she's someone who's looking out for Joshua.
Of doors.
She doesn't like him being outdoors.
Have discussed this.
Now, for me, this is a little bit of important in the sense that we see Joshua healing the protagonist, but he's Phoenix dominant, right? And he's using fire here. Now, Phoenix has always been associated with fire and rebirth and healing, like Rebirth Flame, if any of you remember that summon. So I'm thinking that Joshua has the ability to heal as well through his fire. So it's kind of a healing fire, a good one. So we see that he's healed the protagonist here, the main guy, and the lady to the left. I'm not sure what's her take in the story, but she seems to be a very important character as well.
Come, Joshua.
Now I have I have my suspicions about this lady. The way she's hiding her face and how Joshua likes to avoid her for some reason. So let's see what sort of information we can find in the future.
Your father will be expecting us.
And Joshua is looking back to his shield because maybe he wants to spend more time with him, or there's something he wants to tell him.
Joshua's shield. I'm sworn to protect him.
Right, so here comes our first look at the combat. Maybe that's a goblin, but he has 5 toes. Nice. The setting looks like it's a village that's abandoned or being ransacked by these creatures. And to the right, we can see that there's another character here, which probably means that he's either a guest character or part of a party. Maybe we can switch between them, or maybe we just play as the main guy. Now that was a good dodge, kind of like Noctis. And we see throughout the fight that he uses fire element because he's Joshua's shield, and Joshua has probably given him this power to control fire, or Phoenix for that matter.
What do you mean you refuse? Did you not?
Now, this guy here seems very crossed with the lady, because the lady has probably decided to not go forward with the plan, whatever it is that they had planned out.
Pledge your swords to our cause!
Now that's a pretty sick Marlboro. And we can see here that he's probably doing that's it. And the guy is just firing shots, just fireballing him. Again, fire elemental in all the attacks. So this is the lady I was talking about.
It was the Dalmex who drove back the Crusaders in the Battle of the Twin Realms.
So Crusaders again and the Battle of the Twin Realm. When they're talking about the Twin Realm, maybe it's a realm that has both summons. Like one has the Phoenix summon, the other has the Ifrit summon. It could be that, or it could be something else entirely. But and then again, they're talking about Crusaders. I always remember like Crusaders from Final Fantasy X, riding chocobos. So again, this is again probably the Battle of the Twin Nations or something else, or it's already happened. This is a flashback, or maybe it's another battle that's taking place at present in the game.
Without the blessing of the Mother Crystal, we cannot defend our
So here they talk about without the blessing of the Mother Crystal that they cannot
realm from the spread of the blight.
stop the spread of the blight. Again, kind of like Final Fantasy 15, the Star Scourge. So in order to stop that, they need the Mother Crystal. So probably the crystal has some kind of properties that can stop the blight. Maybe it also has the ability to, make dominance. Kind of like the Fal'Cie from Final Fantasy 13. Could be something like that. Here we see our first look at a Dragoon. Now, they look kind of sick. They look really nice. So the Dragoon is fighting the main protagonist over here, and now this shot here is just epic. Since he's Joshua Shield, I believe that apart from just casting summons, maybe this time around they've decided to utilize certain abilities in battle, like this Phoenix Wing as an uppercut or something. It could be the reason that because you've got some sort of equipment in your inventory, like or maybe if you've got a Phoenix Summon equipped, you can cast this, because we're going to see that there are going to be different sorts of abilities, or different summon abilities per se, that are going to be used in battle. So what they're saying here, that they've sent in a Dragoon. So probably Dragoons are kind of like these special op units or something that need to be sent in to do something when all else fails.
Imperial Vipers.
So they probably don't like these Dragoons.
Really mean to invade us?
Here's another recurring monster, and here we can see that if this is the elder version of the protagonist, we can see that in this battle there aren't any more fire swings or fire element involved. And I don't know, he kind of looks like the male version of Lightning to me. Look at that cape and that style. That is pure Final Fantasy 13 Lightning over here. And here you can see, instead of the red embers that were coming in earlier in the earlier battle scenes, we've got it all green now. And here you can see that there's even a claw of sorts, which, like the Phoenix Wing. Here there's some sort of a claw. And probably this is again something that you've equipped that gives you this ability. And here we're going to see Joshua being protected by this gentleman here, who probably gets killed. And again, blood. There's a lot of blood in this Final Fantasy, and I am quite surprised to see that. But I will also say that this is the early development phase, so it might happen later on that Square Enix decides, hey, we need to do sales, so instead of an M rating, we need to bring down the blood and probably make it accessible to a wider audience. So it might happen that this blood will stay here as it is, or it might just get removed from the game. It all depends on the sales and everything. Again, Phoenix, we saw that, and as you can see, it's again an uppercut. So I don't know. Maybe this for sure is some sort of equipment that's in your inventory that you can use to do that. Here again, it's all green now, and we can see that the main protagonist is fighting a mage.
It's the Archduke.
But here, you see, we can see that now it's yellow, and he's fighting an armored person here, and we can even see the Titan. Probably this is something to do with Titan because that's the Titan's fist.
Son.
And this is a different person. See, the one earlier was wearing a robe. This one is clad in armor.
Phoenix.
Okay, now here Joshua is losing control, and things are starting to go downhill.
Stop this!
Now people are panicked. They're like, Joshua, stop this. Something bad is happening when the dominant loses control. This is Phoenix. That Phoenix, she looks absolutely gorgeous here, and I'm really happy to see Phoenix getting some limelight here, because usually it's always the other summons, but Phoenix here probably seems to be heavily involved with the story. Now, this person here, I don't know what's happening, who this guy is, but when this guy explodes, something happens, and maybe Ifrit is called out. So I don't know what's happening. Maybe this is all editing, where Phoenix burns someone, or maybe something happens that releases Ifrit.
Second icon of fire. That's impossible.
Now this guy is like the second icon of fire, and he's extremely surprised that it's impossible, which basically means that you have icons that represent some elements, and there haven't been any icons that have both elements. The other thing that could happen here is that maybe Joshua is not just Phoenix's dominant, he's also Ifrit's dominant. Yes, I don't know, maybe that's just a theory that I have. Maybe that is the case, and it also could be that that's why he's surprised, that they always thought that he has just Phoenix as a dominant, but now there's Ifrit. But then again, the other thing is like Ifrit and Phoenix fight, so I'm not entirely sure. Let's see when more information comes in. Maybe Joshua has both of them, or maybe there's a third party here that's fighting Joshua. The invaders who are already attacking Joshua over here, they possess Phoenix, Ifrit, sorry. So let's see. My God, that Ifrit looks beautiful. He looks stunning. Just this shot here, he looks just fabulous. And notice that he's all fired up here, right? He's all in his fairy glory.
The legacy of the crystals.
So that's Phoenix versus Ifrit under the moonlight, and this music that comes in is just beautiful.
Has shaped our history.
Again, the two people fighting, swords versus axes. Now I don't know whether that fireball was hurled at Ifrit by Phoenix, or maybe this is his, his final, his ultimate attack.
Enough.
So it's like crystals have been here for long enough now. Probably man needs to take destiny into their own hands, or live in a world without the crystals. I don't know. Could be that kind of, it could be that kind of a story. Like the blight is spreading, and the other party has this view, like, crystals, it's been long enough now, probably people need to get out of there, and history needs to change. Not history, I mean the future needs to change. Now here's the other thing. Ifrit here isn't fired up, and you can see that he's probably just smashing and tearing up someone or people here. And if I can just get frame by frame, and we can see that there's blood gushing out. So he's not fired up for some reason, but he is attacking people, and there's a lot of blood. See there? So blood splattering. He is mad, and he's like killing people.
I'll kill you. If it's the last thing I do.
Now, I'm going to go with my theory here that this is the same character, younger version and the older version, and this guy seems to be on a revenge path because he's clearly talking about "I'll kill you if it's the last thing I do." Maybe something happens to Joshua, and that he's just on this revenge path. Could be that thing, or it could be just edited to make it this way. I'm not so sure, but I'm going to go with this right now for this trailer analysis that this is the same guy, younger version, older version, and they kind of have the same earring here, which is a little bit obvious. If we see here, see there's these, they look pretty similar to me, I'd say.
I'll kill you. If it's the last thing I do.
And then we see these two flames. Maybe this is what the story is about, the twin realms. And the twin realms basically are talking about Phoenix and Ifrit. So this is probably a prelude to that. And here we see the beautiful Final Fantasy XVI logo, and I'm extremely happy to see Phoenix getting some spotlight. So it's Phoenix versus Ifrit, and this is going to be the main part of the story in some way or form. And this could be the twin realms that we've been talking about, or maybe this could be something else. But one thing is for certain, that the story is going to be focusing on these two main dominants, Phoenix and Ifrit. So that's it for this trailer. I really appreciate you taking time out to watch this. If you guys have anything to add to this, please leave a comment below. And if you guys have your own opinion about this trailer, if you think there's something that I missed out, please do mention that in your comments. And I would really like it if you guys can support my channel. I've just started off on YouTube. It would mean a lot to me if you guys could like and subscribe and share this video. Thank you so much, and stay tuned for some more content.